Flipping story out of Southwest Miami-Dade, where we're now learning more about a police officer in an unmarked car who pulled over a man who didn't believe he was an officer. Local 10 Syra Onwer is live with what she learned.
This strange and scary incident happened last week in this Southwest Miami-Dade neighborhood. Witnesses at first thought this was a fake cop, but police say it's a real cop. Now witnesses are saying exactly which officer they believe it is, and it's one we've seen before. Is this the officer who pointed a gun at you?
Yes, that is the officer.
This man, who doesn't want to be on camera, identifying Miami-Dade police officer Matt Larsh as the officer behind this frightening but also baffling encounter early last week. His wife tells us what she saw and heard that day.
Was saying through the PA, through the speakerphone, if you don't drop your windows, I'm gonna drop you. The energy felt like the officer was definitely gonna shoot. He was already aiming to my husband's head.
She says Larsh pulled behind her husband in this unmarked SUV with police lights on early last week in Southwest Miami-Dade. Neighbors confirming her story, telling Local 10 they believed the officer was going to shoot her husband. She says when the officer saw her recording on her phone, he covered his face and drove away.
We just got here. We're trying to figure out what happened.
Other Miami-Dade officers later responded after they called 911. You may recall Officer Larsh from our coverage over a year ago. Larsh was on duty on an Mdpd motorcycle when he was hit by a driver and seriously injured in April of 2022. He had a long rehabilitation journey and went back to work at the beginning of this year. But today, the couple, now knowing his backstory, say a traumatic accident does not give someone the right to terrorize their family, and they demand accountability. They've already reached out to the FBI and Department of Justice.
My daughter could have been in that vehicle. My mother could have been in the vehicle. That could have been your son. That could have been your husband. That could have been your uncle. Nothing gives him the right. And ultimately, we are exhausted of police misconduct.
And right now, Miami-Dade police are not confirming that Officer Larsh is the officer behind this incident, but they say this is all still under investigation.